I want to show you guys my new car that I got. And I've had a little bit of, not a fiasco, but mild road bump in the road. And everything seems to be in working order now, but I want to show you my new ride. Isn't she beautiful? Aww. Look at this. That's a temporary tag, so that doesn't matter. And it's expired. So I wanted to show you guys my new ride because I've talked to a few of my friends about my long-standing history of car trouble. And I've pretty much manifested this thing for free. My dad gifted it to me. He put in a new transmission, alternators changed. It was shipped up here from Tampa because neither of us had the time to fly and drive and whatever. But when it got here, second time I turned it on, the battery died, and that was yesterday. So this morning it did start, but the battery was going bad. So I have a new one. So crisis averted. The car I have been driving for the last almost five years, I think. Yeah, almost 5 years, is this orange thing. And the fun thing about her is that that black bumper was from the one time I was on the interstate driving at night. There was something in the road. I couldn't avoid it. It tore up my bumper. So she has a replacement bumper. So I guess I could do a van tour. Look at this. Leather seats. I got a frickin' armrest. Look at that. She's also got a sunroof and 3-row seating. So now all my friends can ride in my van. And try not to make a mess. So yeah, I have a new ride. I need to go to the DMV at some point. And I believe tomorrow I'm gonna get some behind the scenes footage of my friend Ian, who is better known as Loose Bolts. He's recording a few songs, record, something. He's recording something, and I'm a fan of it. I love his work. So he asked me to get a little bit of footage of that because memories and quality content. Am I the only one?
Oh,
yeah, it is. It's a good tripod too.
Damn, that's crazy, yo. That's a good $80 spent.
Yeah, it's very
That's
nice.
fucking badass. Hello, my name's Ian, and I am the songwriter, producer, musician, main creative source of Loose Bolts. I am the boy with loose bolts.
I love when you say that, honestly. Yeah. And when, like, the last time I saw you play, which was the first time I'd seen you play in a while, was at Winterfest at the out in Panama City.
Yeah, on the 5th.
So good. It was
Thank
so
you.
good. I'm not calling it vlogging. I'm being such a like pretentious butt about it. I'm calling it video journaling.
I mean,
because like for me, that's what it feels more like.
I mean, what's the pretense?
It's so like for me on my channel, I have a few videos from like last year when I was still doing Card and Coffee. I hadn't adopted my pen name yet. I did a couple of, I don't know if they're necessarily like story time, motivational, whatever. I was definitely trying my hand at like semi-vlogging and being some sort of like authority voice.
Like authoritative.
And but I still wasn't like fully sold on it. When I retired Card and Coffee last year, and I just kind of was like, fuck it, I'll figure it out or not worry about it. Basically, I just gave myself permission to like do whatever, because like I had a really hard time trying to describe what I do because I do so many different things.
Yeah.
I was playing around with changing my domain name on my website anyway from Card and Coffee because I just was like, I can't keep shoving things under this umbrella that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I was playing with different words. Gigcraft, the word Gigcraft came to me first.
Yeah.
And it sounds like witchcraft, which is one reason why I really like it. Part of my craft is working a bunch of different gigs and kind of like owning that. And then the word Maven came to me. It like started popping up. I started seeing the word Maven. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's basically like, it's kind of like a self-made expert. I am an expert in the shit that I do. It's basically what Maven of Gigcraft is. And so Gigcraft is kind of like just embracing.
That's pretty creative.
Embracing that. And so my channel, though, like a couple weeks ago, I put up a video and I was basically saying, like, I don't want to necessarily vlog because the actual industry of making content that is vlogging content is different than what I would try to go for or anything that I would want. I would rather have a catalog of video journals, documentation of what's going on in my life. Literally stuff my kids or grandkids could look at.
Yeah.
Granted, the internet's still around.
Right.
So my channel's a hot mess.
That's all right.
It's all right. We're all just trying.
You started.
I started.
That's the important thing.
Hell yeah.
The pressure of not starting yet is way worse than the pressure of, all right, I started, I gotta keep going.
Keep it up. Yeah. I wrote a blog about why Logan and I went to DC, and then I put out a couple other things.
Yeah.
So I've been feeling the creative flow, I guess.
That's
and
good, yeah.
I'm trying not to worry about it too much. And then you are inviting me to take a little opportunity to play with getting more footage and capturing shit.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we're doing today. Well, you're actually recording something.
Yeah. You may have heard me play it before.
Is it Judy?
No. I think I might put Judy on this EP that I'm working on.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to make like a concise like record that you can listen through and it all makes sense together as like a concept sort of. I kind of like had this revelation recently. The more that I get into the minutia of actually being like creating a business around music, it's very unromantic. It's very unappealing. The romance for me has always been the creating of the art and the kind of romanticism toward, or the romantic whatever, like idea of like, you know, this can change people's lives, or this can like, you know, change the world person by person or whatever. The minutia of the business that actually like puts that, it makes that a potentiality, you know, it makes that change a potentiality through the catharsis, you know, that people will hopefully experience when they experience the music. Is it's very like fucking, it's just like, it's boring. You know, I'm starting to learn to appreciate it as just another kind of like ligament of the body. Did I ever explain to you what Loose Bolts actually is?
I feel like you have, but I would love to hear it again. Loose
Bolts, it's basically inspired by like this album cover by the Get Up Kids. It's called Something to Write Home About. And it's not like anything that the album is about. That album is basically just a bunch of like really like early emo songs or whatever. The idea of Loose Bolts, so let's say like, you know, this body of work that I have is like an entity, you know, it's like a robot, right? I kind of like I look at each song, or maybe even each album, depending, you know, they're all the loose bolts of the kind of construct, the entire concept. So that's essentially what it is, because it's like I have so many different ideas and like different nuances that just like they're just in my head, you know. And I kind of just use Loose Bolts as like a catch-all or like a, you know, it's kind of like what you're doing with Gigcraft.
Yeah.
Essentially the same concept, but with a band name, right?
I usually get hung up on the semantics of things.
Right.
And so even though like with Gigcraft and I wouldn't even call it a rebrand, but just like slapped a new coat of paint on it, like it really comes down to, on paper, an argument of semantics. However, it does help me to feel more confident and empowered in what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I named it this. I'm not trying to fit in the box of coach, consultant, writer, editor, because I'm like, anytime I tried to stick to like a tagline like that, as a freelancer or whatever, it just never, it felt limiting and narrow. But like me having a space of like, this is what I call it, I can kind of explain it to you. I'm also a little bit, you know, weird and witchy, and my personality includes a cup of coffee with me everywhere. It just kind of helps me feel better about carving my own space and being a part of things without overstepping or being overshadowed or whatever, you know, and that's just kind of like the journey I've been on with that. Yeah,
also the whole journey of like trying to like brand something is essentially like all a brand is how you communicate to people.
Yeah.
Communication is a very nuanced thing. Sometimes you're talking to somebody who like gets it and you don't have to say too much. And then sometimes you really have to like, you know, it's like this, you know, like you got to spoon feed it to people.
Yeah.
You know, you got to really break it down. The simpler you make it, you make your idea for somebody else to digest, you know, it's the better off you are. Your ideas might be like a thick bowl of oatmeal, right? But like somebody else's perspective is like a straw. And you have to figure out how to get that oatmeal through that fucking straw the best way you can.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why it's good for like you or for me to like, I have a good understanding of what I'm doing. So like I have confidence in describing my stuff as Gigcraft. Break it down from there. So like kind of as you go through the breakdown, it's watered down a little bit so you can meet someone where the straw is, work them up to, oh, okay, I see the
Yeah, you gotta lube up the straw.
Yeah, you gotta lube up the straw.
Yeah, put some WD-40 in that fucking straw. WD-40 and duct tape.
Oh my goodness. We did kind of go to high school together. I knew who you were, like I knew your name and like I'd probably seen your face. We were in different different grades.
Mm-hmm.
I had like friends who were like friends with you or like knew who you were. And then I guess it was, I don't think it maybe like almost 3 years ago we connected on Facebook and I remember
you heard my shitty like Strokes cover.
I loved it though. I'm a sucker for the Strokes.
Well,
anyway, I liked it.
Yeah.
But also like I am a little bit of a sucker for a guy with a guitar. Like, have you seen My Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been friends now, I guess, for almost 3 years and
probably.
So in that time I think you and I
it was about 3 years because I was in Tallahassee in 2017.
Yeah, so I think individually we both like had a lot fleshed out and changed. We're more settled into our later 20s and we feel the passing of time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm. Are you still recording yourself doing all of the instruments, like the different instruments?
Yeah, I think I might. I'm not really sure. I mean, I could definitely, like, with what I have available, I can make like a pretty good demo. But what I'm really trying to do is like, honestly, this song that I'm recording drums for today, to me, it could be like a Goo Goo Dolls song. Like, it could be like it could just be like that big sounding, you know? And it's like super poppy, super accessible. Like, even little kids can hum along to it. Like, I've tested it a bunch, you know? But like, so I'm really just trying to like, you know, like the whole like recording yourself and engineering everything and da-da-da-da-da, like that's really like a utilitarian thing for me because hiring people to do things costs money. If you have the money, by all means, get somebody to record you. It's not like an ego thing for me.
No,
you know?
It's like what resources you have available and what investments you can make and stuff like that. So
that EP that I put out in 2015, I paid like $800. You know, just straight up $800 for that. And that was totally worth it. I also didn't know anything about recording then. I didn't know about any of that stuff, you know. I'm just gonna have to pay someone to do this for me and hopefully it goes well. And it went all right, you know, but now I know what I want, you know, to a pretty like detailed extent. So, you know, yeah.
Fun.
So there's that, yeah. Well,
should we?
Yeah, we should probably skedaddle.
We should probably go to the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Do you need your headphones to come down or anything?
I don't know. Maybe I could just like tune up the reso.
Works better as a kick mic, I'll tell you that. Let me make sure it's still working. It's been a while since I've used it.
What is it, a Behringer?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
Go whenever you're ready.
Give you the chance to warm up on it at least.
Yeah. I feel like, stick it through a fucking, what, do I look ridiculous like this?
No.
No.
Will you do me a favor
What's up?
and say terrible transition?
Terrible transition.
Yeah! Hello. It's loud, so this is gonna sound terrible. No, I'm doing a video. Yeah.
No, it's
Thank you so much.
so helpful.
People are so kind.
People are so kind.
So
Do you know who else is kind?
Me?
It's you.
Oh
You
my
did know me.
God. Who are you? Tell the people.
I'm Hope.
She's full of hope.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm just Hope.
Just hope.
Hope what?
Hope
Hope
given. Hope given. That's your book title, your memoirs.
I don't think so. I think I can do better than that. Eventually, I'm gonna write a book.
I will be your editor.
I feel like it's gonna involve like etiquette at a gig, like the do's
Oh,
and don'ts
dude,
of
hell yeah.
playing live
I would-
music and
wow.
stories. It's gonna be the things I've seen.
Yeah, like
and between the
anecdotal.
touring and the cruise ships and that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I've ever told you that. No, eventually I write a book.
Oh man, I just learned something about you. Okay, we gotta watch Morning Trips play, right? Morning Trip, Morning Trip.
Hey, are you filming?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.